Hello everybody, my name is Lush Eisner and welcome to the Canadian Money Talk, the channel about Canadian investing and personal finance. Please like and subscribe. I record a video per week, so make sure you ring the notification bell to get notified each time one comes out. So about a month ago, the CBC Marketplace show did an expose on the bad and possibly illegal financial advice and upselling happening at the Canadian big banks. So see the link in the upper right to get the full video. Uh, Other Canadian YouTubers commented on it, and now it is my turn. And it is going to be a bit spicy, maybe even a bit controversial. We'll see in the comments. Uh, I'm not sure why it is a surprise to anyone that the big banks are upselling and misrepresenting their products. You are how they make their money. They are not honor bound to do what is best for you. They just need to sell you, quote, the appropriate, unquote, products. This is as per the legislation for your risk profile, time frame, and the needed returns. They don't have to sell you the best products, and they will sell you their branded mutual funds, even if those have bad performance, because that's how the salespeople keep their job. And to motivate bank employees and keep the profits increasing, they have sales targets that they need to hit. There is no doubt about that. They will sell you their mutual funds so they make the most money. And whether you make money or not is coincidental and not required, as long as you don't take your business elsewhere. They need to keep you happy enough so you don't do that. It's always better to be a shareholder of the big banks than their client. And I am a hefty shareholder of all five and a client of none. As a shareholder, I want the banks to have those sales targets and to keep the profits in the billions and rising. This makes the banks easy targets for the government politically as well, by the way, for extra taxes. This type of expose, as the marketplace expose is, could be done at any time and would be just as true 5, 10, or 20 years ago as it is now. I assume the CBC was lacking for show topics, so they rolled out this chestnut. It's evergreen. So let's look at some clips from the CBC Marketplace show, and I'll give you my thoughts.
It's a high-pressure sales environment.
We had high expectations for sales quotas.
We're encouraged to push our targets over clients.
So that clip was about sales targets. This motivates the salespeople, and lots of businesses do that, to be honest, with stories about car dealerships firing the lowest producing salesman every quarter being infamous.
What is the goal of the bank employee?
It's to sell the products on the shelf and to make you feel good about having purchased them.
It's just about sales. Of course it is. That's what they do to make money, like any business. I don't know why people are surprised at this.
After our tester deposits her cash, she's pitched a checking account.
There is no cost for that. So the only condition for the premium plan to have is maintain 6,000 inside the same account.
Not mentioned, if she doesn't maintain $6,000, her account fees double.
That clip was about upselling to an account where you get lower fees if you keep $6,000 in there, which a lot of people can't do. And so they end up paying the higher fees. But you have to be aware as a consumer, ask questions what happens, and be self-aware as an adult enough that you know you can't keep 6,000 in the account and downgrade the account or not get it in the first place.
I felt like I had to mislead customers in getting products that they didn't need.
What toll did that take on you?
It was a very unethical thing to do, and I felt like I'm putting them in a worse position.
And what's worse, he says colleagues added products to customers' accounts without their knowledge.
Many times, because they needed to meet their sales targets.
Upselling and selling things people don't need can be viewed as unethical, but it's certainly not illegal. It is done every day. Putting extra products onto people's accounts is illegal and is being caused by the sales targets and motivation, putting employees under pressure to sell. But I'd argue pressure and stress are present in a lot of industries. Now, thinking back a couple of years, Wells Fargo in the US had a huge scandal about putting clients into products that they didn't sign up for, and this was just a few years ago as well. So it's not isolated to Canada.
But over at another BMO branch,
It's just actually if you're qualified to get a pre-approved personal line of credit.
our tester is told she's eligible for a $25,000 line of credit.
You would recommend that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not all the client will have this kind of offer.
A line of credit with a slightly lower interest rate can really amplify the small amounts of overspending that add up over time, and suddenly you have something that's incredibly difficult to pay off.
Offering a line of credit or a credit card to give people a chance to carry a balance is how banks and credit cards make money. You have to be a responsible adult and say no if you don't trust yourself, or not leave a balance on a line of credit and not use it for frivolous things. This is exactly how banks make money, by lending. We know that.
At Scotiabank,
You don't have to pay out all of it, but definitely pay out a portion.
yep, just pay off a portion of that debt. Invest the rest. Bad advice, says certified financial planner Sandy Martin.
There is no way that you can make 19.99% on your investment. It just won't happen. Of course, you should pay your credit card debt off.
The advisor does not get paid to pay off the debt.
You don't get any sales points.
No, I don't get any points for that.
Over at TD,
You could do a minimum payment.
minimum payment? At RBC, this advisor also tells us to just pay off some.
For example, 7,000 or 10,000.
Telling the customer to pay off only a portion of the credit card debt is in this clip. You do need to know the interest rate on the credit card contract and that you need to pay it off. The banks make money off the interest. Of course they have a conflict of interest. This is obvious. They don't want you to pay off the credit card if they are charging you 20 or 30%, which is way better than the 2% that they're going to get from the mutual fund fees.
As for that inheritance, all the advisors recommend investing in mutual funds that earn them sales credits. They're not allowed to guarantee the returns on those investments, so will they? At CIBC, seems like it's a sure thing.
The average interest you will get at least 10%.
Right.
Absolutely more than 10%. That is why I'm saying keep it there.
He's guaranteeing absolutely more than 10%. Can he do that?
No, oh no, he absolutely unequivocally cannot guarantee any number from a mutual fund.
Now in this clip, guaranteeing returns is a big no-no because there's no way to foresee the future, and most market indexes average 7 to 9% over many years historically. But next year could be a negative year. The bank employees are using these tactics because of the quotas, I'm assuming. They should be able to meet the quotas without outright lying. That is, either be more effective salespeople without lying, or far more likely, the sales quotas need to be more reasonable.
Back on Hidden Camera, we're asking about the fees charged on those mutual funds. They're important because a typical fee of 2.5% could eat up almost half the value of your portfolio over 25 years.
That clip was about fees. Keep in mind that the bank cannot create these products for free. So comparing the fee investment to a no-fee investment is a little bit unfair. It just does not exist. To tell the truth, many people wouldn't invest at all if they had to do it by themselves, especially if they had to invest into individual stocks. The fees definitely eat into the returns more than you would think, but this is because of the way compound interest works. The fees are compounding too, just like the returns.
So, our final check. What will advisors who have to sell mutual funds to hit targets tell us about the fees? At BMO,
Take it out of your returns. Yeah.
the advisor incorrectly says the fees are only charged on any profit that $50,000 inheritance earns, not the nest egg itself.
Just the returns. So if the return was 5,000, it wouldn't be the 55,000 that they take it off.
No.
At TD, we're told not to worry about the fees.
A lot of clients won't even notice because it's very insignificant.
We're also told incorrectly they're only charged on any profit.
Will that 1.9% also be taken from the 50,000? Or
No, it's not taken out from your own principal.
RBC gets it right, says the fees apply to the whole investment, but claims they're no big deal.
As long as you're happy with this return, you don't have to worry about the fees.
I see. Okay.
At Scotia, the advisor claims he doesn't know how the fees work.
I heard they only take it out of the gains. So let's say if your 50,000 grows to 55,000, that 5,000 gain essentially, that's where they take the 2% out of. I'm not too sure how they calculate it.
Sorry for the long clip. I'm not sure if the miscommunication here is on purpose or not, and I'm on the fence about this part. If the client asks what do they take the fees out of, or taken from, or taken out of, and the advisor answers out of the gains, it could mean that you just get less returns, which is true. And the follow-up should have been how the fees are calculated or what happens when you have a loss. The MER fees are calculated against the entire amount under management, original and gains, and get paid whether you make money that year or not. The problem is regular people don't understand that they are paying for everything, and they don't ask questions. Although the reporter was wording the questions ambiguously. It is true you don't notice the fees come out, but not because they're so small, but because the dollar amount of the fees you paid is shown only once on an annual disclosure in March. And it is true if the fund is beating its index, quote, as long as you are happy with the return, end quote, after fees, you should be pleased. The Scotia guy who didn't know how the fees were calculated and told us that he, quote, heard, shouldn't be speaking to clients at all. All the advisors need to be licensed, but it is a low bar. The laws are very slowly moving towards better disclosure and information. But as far as the banks acting in the client's best interest rather than their own, that would require a complete change in how the Canadian financial industry works. People aren't interested in disclosures and reading statements, so you can send my mother whatever you want. She won't look at it and wants the financial advisor to do everything. Let's talk about financial advice for a bit, since that's what the CBC expose ended with. And just so everyone understands, the advisor is paid in one of four ways. So the first way is commissions from the sale of mutual funds, and then 0.25% to 1% trailing fee per year. This has been a conflict of interest with the advisor suggesting funds that make them the most commission, or whatever their manager tells them to recommend. This is the model that the big banks use, except legislation has slowly, over years, caused better disclosures to the clients, but not necessarily much change in behavior. The second way is paying by transaction, which leads to churning, which means the advisor is selling and buying things just to make a commission. This isn't really done anymore in general, but maybe you'll find the occasional one. The third way is fee only as a percentage of assets. So this is better because the advisor will suggest low fee, good products, and receive no commission from the mutual funds. They want your portfolio to go up to make more money themselves, and if these advisors use exchange-traded funds or ETFs, this is viable. But if they're using mutual funds, you'll still pay a reduced management expense ratio for the mutual fund because those mutual funds don't pay commissions to the advisor, but they still need to keep the lights on. The advisor will probably charge you 1% per year, and then the mutual fund will charge you a low 1% per year. So you're really back to where we started, except that at least now you're getting good funds, because the financial advisor has no reason to get you into bad funds. In fact, they're motivated to get you into good funds. And then number 4, still fee only, but they charge by the hour. So really, this is the only advisor that will tell you the complete truth, but it will be expensive on small accounts since it is the same cost to do a financial plan and an investment portfolio design on a $100,000 portfolio as it is for a $2 million portfolio. And the fees are going to be in the thousands. So for a small portfolio, it's really not economical. I haven't had a financial advisor for many years, but I do remember maybe 15, maybe even 20 years ago visiting an RBC advisor to get some index mutual funds. And the advisor told me that I don't pay him, that he gets paid a salary. So this is extremely misleading, since the management expense ratio, the index mutual funds charge, is coming out of my investment. Although not out of my pocket directly, I'm definitely paying something. If the advisor wasn't with Royal Bank would be paying commissions on a yearly basis to that financial advisor for the ongoing financial advice. Of course, I never saw nor received any updates nor communication from that advisor. I think it was about a $60,000 portfolio, so I would have to push pretty hard to even get an annual visit. So maybe let's go through some reasons to have a financial advisor. So let's look at some great financial advisors, no matter how they get paid, for some reasons why you would want to have a financial advisor. So first of all, the financial advisor should not just pick mutual funds for you. You can do that yourself using exchange-traded funds or just online research on Morningstar, and you can find great mutual funds yourself. But the mutual funds that they do recommend need to be outperforming their appropriate benchmarks and indexes, because that should be relatively easy. There's no reason to have a bad mutual fund. But your financial advisor should go beyond that. They should get all of your financial life together and show you blind spots and problems. He or she should know my life and point me to what is important for me out of the huge amount of web info that we're all exposed to. The financial advisor should tell me to do nothing with my investments during market crashes or to buy more. They should make me stick to a plan, reminding me that it is important and what the plan is. And the financial advisor should do risk management to make sure that I don't lose more than I can safely afford to. The financial advisor should help me with my budget so I have money to invest. They should ensure I am saving into the right account types following a tax strategy. They should know the tax laws that pertain to investing. They should know and prepare for me taking my money out later. They should know how I'm going to be doing it. They should point out opportunities, weaknesses. They should look at the big picture for me and tell me about things that maybe I'm not seeing because I'm too close to my investments in my financial life. They should rebalance my portfolio. If I wanted a 60-40 portfolio and that's what I felt comfortable with in terms of risk, and it has moved, so now it is a 70-30 portfolio with 70% stocks, I am now more exposed to risk than I was before, and they should rebalance it without me prompting them. And they should prevent emotional investing decisions, which is where a lot of investors fail and they start trading with emotion. As a client, you should be willing to pay for great advice. Nobody wants to work for free. And if you have a good financial advisor, you should be willing to pay them however they get paid. If your bank financial advisor was doing all of the things I mentioned, you should be willing to pay the annual MER commissions on the mutual funds that come out of your pocket, as long as the mutual funds outperform their benchmarks and therefore the ETFs that you could buy. Unfortunately, most financial advisors at the big banks will continue to be glorified salesmen, ignoring anything else about your financial life other than what they sold you and what they can sell you in the future. I believe that nothing will change in the financial industry in Canada until people start learning about investing and finances and doing it for themselves or being capable of it. No one will take care of your money as well as you. Please don't delegate the responsibility just because you think investing or personal finance is complicated. The financial advisor makes it seem that way because it is in their best interest to make it seem like some dark art, so you are dependent on them. It is relatively simple and anyone can do it, I promise. So just do a bit of reading and you'll be able to ask follow-up questions and be able to call your advisor on misinformation. If you have any requests on what you would like me to cover in future videos, please put that in the comment section. If you'd like to get in touch, please reach out on any of these social media channels, and may you have a profitable day.